Hey guys, and welcome to the story time on RavenTale. My name is Matteo, I'm gonna be your humble storyteller. Also, English is not my first language and I'm dyslexic, so this is gonna be fun for everyone. But what it is, I want to be writer. I write pretty much every day, and I wanna get good at it. So I decided I'm gonna make vlog, sort of, and read to you my story in progress. This was supposed to be 20 pages long story, very outline short story, which is currently, the 20 pages long story is currently 684 pages long. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it before 1000. I'm discovery writer, as you might get it. Second draft gonna be about half of it, hopefully. But fuck that for now. I'm gonna read the story to you. There are no chapters per se, but I'm gonna switch it to the shorter parts and name them. So this is New Dawn, Ember Regrets, part now, which I'm gonna call Last Dawn. They were marching. Tens of thousands of boots were marching towards the gates of the city. Spears and halberds. Their tips were shining in the summer morning. One could go blind. Pistols and muskets strapped to the belts and backs. Rapiers and sabers thirsty for blood of enemies. For defenders of the city it must have seemed as if whole forest was moving towards them. Dust from their steps looked like a mist as it was covering whole battlefield. And even then, mechs were towering above it all. 2, 4, or even 6-legged machines were carrying those boats of land closer to the walls. After all, why spend weeks and months of attacking walls when soldiers can be deployed directly on top of them? And even before that, war balloons and airships were faster than they seemed. Before swords of rebels and army clash for the first time, bombs will be already dropping at the targets deep in the city. King's advisor leaves nothing for a change. The King's advisors left nothing for a chance. Disobedience of one small town was to be treated as if it was moment to decide future of the empire. Some men in high command no doubt seen it as such. Tyrants, dictators, same ones as he once served in promise of a better future. About the time, Jim compared King's army, the greatest power in the world, and their own men. Unlike most of compatriots, he couldn't care less if they were called freedom fighters, rebels, heretics, or terrorists. What mattered to him was their number and position. One team, even if it weren't to be compared to approaching Goliath. Later maddening. They were on top of the walls and immediately under them, as if they were fighting for every inch of space among each other. Before enemy could even come, well armed and armored, with engineers and medics as close as possible. Same goes for barrels filled with gunpowder, bullets, and oil. Few volunteers that came before city was closed doors were standing randomly among locals, much like battle mages who were given free rein to do as they see fit once battle starts. In short, they were pigs to be slaughtered. Jim looked up to the distance once more. Soldiers got close enough that march turned into raging sprint into battle. Safety of gates was to become past in mere minutes. And Jim could not stop his smile. We are ready. Are you? Before. You motherfucker! Man he would later come to find out was named Huey yelled it out, almost choking on his own blood and teeth. Rushed to return the favor. As reward, yet another kick grazed his face. To his credit, he did not went down. That one made Cyril genuinely surprised. Instead, Huey just flew back a little, only to land on a head. This time it was Beckovic taking damage. Today was not his day, and Eddie Huey got up, as if possessed by demonic spirit. Cyril grazed him by a smile, and that was what robbed Huey of last semblance of self-control. One of them was to die today. Another man jumped to Cyril from behind, clearly to Huey's displeasure, put him chokehold. Time till he loses conscience was measured in seconds, if not less. If he won't get pummeled from fists. but he didn't mind. More the challenge, more for him. That is, even seen it as such. He was trained back home and already got chance to test his skills in fight. No need to reach for a weapon or to kill. He'll just hurt them a bit, just to show underlings their place. What is meaning of this? Captain Morale hardly needed to raise a voice, and a room full of trained killers froze in time. Nothing, Captain, sir. Choghole turned into brotherly hug. Huey is betting newbies again. Morale's face remained unchanged. They just guessed his soul signed. Huey. Told chicken he gets bonus if it knocks me out. Really? Not the mention of argument, not the mention of aggressions. Huey's drunken anger triggered by Cyril's arrogance. Young noblemen openly struck word of this unit twice, and yet none of them denied defense. One offered by his victim nonetheless. Cyril was ready to show those uncultured swine he is about to raise through ranks, leaving them all below, where they rightfully belong. One by one, or all of them at once, if it come to that. If anything, was happy to get chance to put plebs down the very first day. Nothing could prepare him for this, however. Take you out of battlefields for a month, and you all turned into children. Hardly to know if Morale believed their lie or merely went with it. Sir, if I may, sir. His hand was still over Cyril's shoulders. Maybe we were allowed some creative activity directly here in barracks, cards or hookers perhaps. Go to nursery as soon as you can. Captain said it as if he guessed already it won't be Huey's first priority. And don't forget, while you're here, you are property of King. He continued as he was leaving. Hold on. Okay. Your health is to be maintained, so your life can be spent in service of Sire. My only goal in life, sir. He wholeheartedly laughed, not a hint of irony in his voice. Most of the room joined. After which, he turned as if Cyril wasn't still there. Whole incident seemingly wiped out of his memory. Servant, wine! And Cyril stood there, shocked as he could be. Word of wisdom, my friend. Man he would later find out was named Jim, much like Huey, about a decade older than Cyril, maybe more, pulled him closer. Arms still around as he spoke. We don't matter, and neither do you. His accent was foreign, yet he was still in unit. If it wasn't strange enough, he was talking to Cyril as if they were friends for years. But second it blows, men in this room will count on you to keep them alive, as you will on them. With that he returned back to his book, and that was the end of it. Now, morning summer wind was hitting his naked body. What is worse, it also blew away powder from table, along with several sheets of paper with alchemy notes. Most flasks flipped over from table. His little project was ruined. And women began to scream. No, not because Cyril's hobby was interrupted. It was more likely due to the cannonball that went straight through their tent. Could have killed them all. The youngest one, the one Jessica brought to show her robes, was screaming out of her lungs. Jess herself grabbed Shy Petite into her arms and tried to calm her down. Like him, all of them were nude, on simple bed, or on either skin or pillows on the floor. Jess and Eva seemed to be least in shock. Life in war camp isn't easy, even for non-combatants, he nodded. Fresh Petal and Jessica's scare broke into crying. No shit! Eva put her hands to her side, as if she was complaining about service in the tavern. How come they are shooting at the camp? Good question. Tall, slim, blonde man agreed. I'll ask. With that, he started walking towards the door to the tent. Well, what was left of it? Sharim grabbed his pants, but Jill stopped her. Already holding Bell with Cyril's sword, she quickly put it on him. Strangely, she was as good with that as it was other way around. Eva tossed her holster with dagger, and Jill put it on place also. Blind shot on same place won't happen twice. It's less likely than Thunderbolt. So we just stay here? Why? It's safe because you said so? Hush, Eve. Her face turned red as her hair. Farm girl dragged away, or ordinary harlot would crawl into a corner and tremble there. I swear to God, one of those fucking days I'm gonna find those people who, for those who don't know, Slovakia still exists in 5th century, so we have public announcement who must go up when I'm recording something. One of these days I'm gonna get those fucking people. In the meantime, hush Eve, her face turned red as her hair. Farm girl dragged away, or ordinary harlot would crawl into a corner and tremble there. Eve, however, saw more battlefields than most soldiers here, and she expected to be treated such. After all, that was what made her interesting. No surprise, she was one of his best stars. Definitely one of his personal favorites. Good looks and good mind. But it was her temperament and the indomitable spirit that drew him to her. Sometimes, even her fearless anger. You! Butler is running here to make sure if you are okay. If it's not that, tell him your wishes, tell him it's order from me. And just like that, Eve smiled like sunshine. Worst case scenario, he'll steal fools and booze from cavalry and knights, he added. Fuck those guys anyway. Well, if it's like that, women from just few seconds ago might as well switch place with completely different person. Don't ask poor guy to steal jewelry for you though. I wasn't gonna. Better not. I'm heading that direction, might as well bring you a little something for spoils myself. He winked. In direct opposite of reaction he was expecting, her smile was gone. And when you coming back? She asked, about as serious as he ever seen her. You are coming back, right? What, you scared for me? Cyril chuckled. For a second there, it seemed like he even hurt Eve's feelings. True or false, it was gone as fast as it appeared. Maybe I am? Voice firm and confident, unlike her face, posture. She stared straight into his eyes, almost as if she was trying too hard to seem careless. Maybe I will then. When then? She insisted. There is a war, woman, Cyril scolded her. And I'm about to end it. Lunch as soon as. Don't let them through! Jason lay right before he shot his musket. Wall was cracked but so far held up. Four-legged robot was hunched over wall and on fire. Max and siege towers managed to put units on their walls, but not nearly enough to kill over one swoop assault like they would hope to. Enemy forces were pushing at the main gate, but it remained intact. There was no doubt they won't survive for long. But Johnson knew that. But he didn't care, as long as he could take more of a king's dogs with him. More so there was no secret that King and his whore were among them. Nice in front line, brilliant propaganda. He must have more protection than his whole army, but there was still chance he'll see that brat in front of him. Johnson reloaded his musket and took aim again. Battle was still going. Johnson pulled trigger and smiled. Soldier was still screaming as he was falling down. There was also a naked man standing there. Wait, what? He stopped right in the middle of reloading, and all he could do is stare. Not that man wasn't impressive. It was more that he was completely naked, covered head to toe in blood, and he was walking towards them. Lieutenant, yes, Francois, I see it. Johnson turned attention to that, and now his whole unit did. By sound of it, rest of rebel militia protecting gate were still occupied by the original task. Is it friend or foe? Boy, wish I knew. Sir, another volunteer, little twat named George. Kid that didn't even started to shave, raised voice at him. Johnson spent 2 years on front. Most of that he barely fought. First one, he was drafted from a farm. Didn't even get to hold rifle. Sir, After a few months of drinking and whoring, he ran out of all the money they gave him, all the loot he plundered. Didn't even have enough for a trip back home. So he decided for another year. Gave us orders, sir. Johnson had no idea why those memories are coming back now, out of all possible times. But it did. And it reminded him that he wasn't ready for this. It reminded him that he was fraud. Naked man, red with blood, was walking quietly towards them. Only thing that was clean, ironically, was his sword. Rapier was shining in summer sun. It seemed like blood itself is made of light. Panic and swearing was to be heard from his unit, if you would call it that. Johnson knew damn well he wasn't ready for this. He wasn't leader. He was barely a soldier. He had more experience than those kids under him, but that even made it worse. It was fun as long as they were on a glorified shooting range. Now, an understandable sight from their back nonetheless showed up. From their back nonetheless? Is it enemy? Is it ally? Is it vision? Magical illusion? Give us orders, sir, please! Take the aim! Cyril dashed towards them, and then immediately again. The oldest one pulled trigger, but he panicked and missed. And now clouds from his own musket blinded him. This time he moved diagonally left. Rebels shoot all at once. All missed, and now there was regular mist, covering space in between them and Cyril. Amateurs. He couldn't resist smirk. He knew damn well that if they shot one after another as they were supposed to, he would be done for. First one's ready again before the last one shot. It's basic tactic, common sense even. Where did he go? Panic voice. Where the fuck did he go? Another one. If they went shot in different direction, just by probability they would most likely got him, but they got confused and lost their cool, and now it was too late. Cyril was randomly changing places from side to side, straight forward and diagonals, even if one of them had his rifle ready, even if they could see him through their own gunpowder cloud. He moved too fast. You who seen him in action and lived to tell the tale surely did. The one man whose footwork made it seem like it's disappearing in thin air and showing up again at random. Has anyone seen? Even at this day and age, some foolish brutes ask if that fancy toothpick even can cut. Cyril's rapier, mirror polish, simple looking all around, maybe except amber gems near cross guard and the hilt. It would end that dispute right quick, as the rest of man's sentence was lost in screeching sound of his own death. Cyril didn't even use much force. In fact, he was sure that if it had been a bit more careful, he could shave man's morning shadow without harming him. But that's not why he was here now, is it? Poor bastard kneeled. His head went in opposite direction like top of chest. Blood sprayed out like a waterfall. No point in trying to stay clean now. Some of his friends witnessed what happened, mouths wide open. Most of them were to follow him before their screams would even begin. Boy, it was tempting not to go for obvious leader first. But inexperienced they might be, it still seemed way too obvious. Now, on the other hand, when he was this close and already broke that little of morale they had to begin with, another quick cut, only with razor sharp tip. Even a quicker one, lightning-esque brisket straight across the original line. Fairly accurate X on his belly open wide like the legs of village last virgin, and leader's breakfast fell out, along with organs. Captain of this little group could tell. He was looking at it with his own eyes, and yet God still didn't grant him that. Well, vocal cord still works well, thought flashed in Cyril's mind. Now he was sure he broke their spirits, and it was going to happen for real. Now it's going to happen for real. Rapid cuts and even faster thrusts. Kicks and sweeps, well aligned and precise to take them out. Rougher and stronger for spraying blood around them even more. Even if spray from one missed the other one's eyes. Light move, cleaned blade, and blinded opponent. He used their own blood as a weapon against them. There were lucky ones. And then there were those who still had to look at own palms and scalps flying through air. Last of his friends fell to the ground. George didn't have nowhere to look what was left of his face. Instead, his eyes looked at the stranger. Much like in the beginning, he was walking towards him slowly. This time he knew why he was covered in blood and guts. Now it was way worse. Speak. He wasn't very loud, and yet his voice carried as it was word of God. Yes, sir. Gunpowder stashes. Armory. He hissed at him. What about them? Where are they, moron? What else? Well... Kid started to think aloud, clearly missing that it wasn't a real question. Where are they? Cyril seemed to losing patience, and Kid almost wet himself. There! He pointed at the large building, not far from them. It's over there. Good. Blood-covered stranger who decimated George's unit right in front of him seemed to be satisfied. Maybe hope wasn't lost just yet. Maybe he'll spare him after all. Go on, Cyril encouraged him. Go on? George confused. Where are others? Others? And that's when he messed up. Man's patience seems to vanish in the air. Other stashes, you idiot. George could swear the rapier pointing at his throat shined on its own. Other places with explosives. Guns. But there are no places like that, sir. Stranger lifted an eyebrow. They ordered us to put it all in one place. Fine, he signed. Fine? George still wasn't confident whether it was a good thing or not. Tip of man's sword lowered to boy's genitals. Oh God, boy yelled. No, only me, man replied. I beg you don't. I gave you a chance. Cyril's voice was calm and dry. You mocked me. I swear, George yelled out. So loud for a second there, Cyril thought it will go through all the noises of war. Sure you do. Please, he begged. Please, he begged. That was the order. They made us bring all the power near the gate, on one place. Fucking why? Cyril went out of character, just for a second. Luckily, boy's eyes were pouring with tears and he didn't notice a thing. I'm telling you, I don't know. They just told us to do it and not ask questions. Please, Cyril signed. Fine, I believe you. Oh God, thank you. George opened his eyes in relief, just to see hand with the rapier lifting in air, ready for a strike. No! He squealed, but it was too late. He'd landed, and another, lighting fast cuts, just like those which massacred his comrades just moments ago, even quicker. Now they were aimed at George himself, finally. Cyril was satisfied. Now we are dead, Cyril said. No one to answer. I said you are dead now. Get up! He raised his voice, enough with that last part, so George sprang to his 2 feet. As he did, all of his gear fell out. Knife, gun, powder bag with bullets, bayonet and hatchet. Every single strap holding battle gear on place was cut razor clean. Everything that was connecting him to rebel forces just suddenly hit the ground as he got up. Your name is... Cyril hesitated. Rickon. George touched multiple places where his clothes were torn. Not one drip of his own blood was coming out, yet insignias that were tying him to his units were gone, in dirt or gliding down as autumn leaves. How did he do that? Raced through his head. And why? Hey! Stranger's voice snapping back to reality. What's your name? Joe. Hand with sword move again. Barely registered sun reflecting in the blade. Just enough for his brain to tell him he's dead now. But he wasn't. Middle got slapped above ear by side of sword. Your name is Rickon. Yes, sir, he barked back as if he was back in basic training. My name is Rickon. Attaboy. Cyril nodded. Now you'll hide. Once royal troops come through, you'll surrender them. You will surrender them. Fuck. You will surrender to them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. George Rickon still couldn't be more confused of what is actually happening to him. He was just glad that he'll leave. You say that you are a royal spy? No response. Cyril raised his voice again. Say it! I said that I'm a royal spy. Sent by Sir Brantovich on behest of Lord Rufus. No need for last name in these lands. Once Cyril mentioned Lord Rufus, he knew damn well who we mean. Everyone on continent knew. And in rebel army especially, he was new as devil himself. Boys fell out and repeated. They take you away. Soon somebody from Secret Service will come to you. Okay. George was ready to pass out when killing started. Now this was just getting harder and harder for his mind to handle. Snow has melted, yet sparrows are still far. Snow has melted. Go on. Strange voice encouraged him. This time he seemed almost kind, as if he was to be his older brother. Yet sparrows are still far. Good boy. If they talk to you still, you just say that you are under Cyril's protections. They'll know. George, now Rickon, stood there still, unsure what is yet to happen to him. Hide, now! After that, things changed, and the boy ran like he never did in his life. Cyril turned his attention to supposed warehouse. One building where defenders hid all their available explosives. Now that there was no one to see him, Cyril's also stoic face deformed in large grin. Now that no one could hear him, there was no reason not to giggle as he started to run. Okay, that is first part. Now I'm gonna re-listen to it, find out just how good or bad I was in terms of reading. I'm gonna also re-listen to it to find out if you can hear the fucking public announcement in this fucking country. I lived in countryside for 10 years and I hated that shit. Now I'm back in capital city, because my country is just oversized village. They always have to do public announcements when I'm recording something. Always! Fuck it. Worst case scenario, I'll do this again tomorrow. More practice for me. In the meantime, this was, in case I'm gonna publish this was New Dawn Amber Regrets Part 1. What do I say? Last Dawn, like I said. I don't do chapters in first draft, but I'm gonna do it for parts. If you wish to subscribe, you're more than welcome. And also, as I always say, praise make me feel good, but criticism will make me good. So guys, please, don't feel bad and don't be merciful. Lay it on me. My goal is not to be loved, my goal is to find out how to be better. So other than my shitty reading, this is first draft. Most of this won't be in second, but feel free to give me any pointers, any criticism. In meantime, my name is Matthew, stay awesome, and hopefully I see you next time, which would be part 2, perhaps called... how would I call it? I had it in mind, I haven't figured out it. Anyway, in next part we will see our king. He is Besonvies king, so ergo head of empire who's taking over this small city on crushing rebellion. We'll see the famed Rufus that Cyril was talking about to George. We'll see a couple more characters, including Queen. And we'll see how will this morning in the city of Espercote will go. See you then. Goodbye, guys. Hopefully see you at part 2. Stay awesome.